Hello, my name is Crystal and I am an aspiring nurse. I am trying to get accepted into this nursing program at my school. It's a 2-year college and they have an ADN program for registered nursing. So one of the things that we have to do is take the HESI exam, and when I was preparing to take the HESI exam the first time, I looked on YouTube, Instagram, I looked on Google, blogs to see what could I do to prepare for the test. And I found some helpful things, but nothing really helps. Like, I wanted to know, like, what was it like, what was on it, what to expect, what kind of questions, stuff like that. I just took the test for the second time today and I did way better, and I just wanted to share my tips since it's fresh on my mind, share my tips, what I think could help, because I didn't have a video to help me, so I just want to help others because it's nerve-wracking, you know. So first and foremost, I would strongly suggest getting this book. This book is like the HESI Bible, I kid you not. There are other books out there that a lot of people say, but this book really is thebomb.com. I got it off Amazon for $39 and it is amazing. I would suggest that you find out if there's a waiting period to retake the exam, because at my school you have to wait 60 days after you take the test to retake the test. So if you take the test your first time and you don't do so well, you can't take it again until 60 days. And it's kind of like nerve-wracking, because if you don't have a chance to retake it before the application deadline, then you're screwed. So I would suggest finding out if there's a waiting period in between taking tests at your particular school. Another tip would be to find some online test preps. I will put the link in the description box of the online test, sample tests or practice tests that I use that really helped. Our school website gave a link to some helpful websites, so I'll put them in the description box. I would say practice those. And another thing I would suggest is using the Cram or the Quizlet. What I did was downloaded the Cram app, and I would search in the search box HESI A2 or HESI blah blah blah, and it would come up with a whole bunch of like flashcards that I can use. And it's great to have the app because, you know, you can just go on your phone when you're bored and just go through some flashcards and kind of be, you know, getting some extra practice in. I know they have the Cram, the Quizlet, and of course, you know, you can use your old notes. Yeah, study. Try to study a little bit every day. And if you have the apps on your phone, like, you can just, you know, be in bed, like, pulling it out and just, you know, yeah. The math in this book is exactly what you need to know on the test. And in the book, it's pretty much, it's easy stuff, but you forget, because it's like 8th grade algebra and you forget. So it pretty much teaches you how to do everything you need to know. Then it has sample questions and everything. So in this book, there is a conversion table in here, and I would advise that you memorize this table, and then when you're taking the math portion, take a piece of scratch paper and write out the table. And when you have questions of conversion, all you have to do is just look back at the table, because there were a handful of questions having to convert, but it's easy. They give you a calculator, you get scratch paper. My tip would be to make sure that you know how to do percentages and ratios, because that makes up a lot of the test. I remember a lot of questions on ratio and percent. The reading part was the most boring part to me, because you have to read about 5 or 6 small excerpts or essays, and you have to answer questions about it. And if you rush through it, you can kind of miss easy points, because the questions are kind of tricky. Like, they'll ask you'll read and then they'll ask, what does the writer mean by this word in paragraph 3, and you'll have to use the context clues with that. I would suggest just take your time on the reading part. Don't rush through anything. The vocabulary part, the reason why this book is really good because it gives you lots of words, and what I would suggest is to just make sure you know all of these definitions, because most of them were what they ask in the vocabulary section. On the Cram app, you can search HESI vocabulary, and it has most of these words in here, and like on flashcards, so it'll show the definition and you tap it and it'll show the word, so that really helped. So also on the vocabulary portion, it would ask, use a word in a sentence and then ask, what does the word mean? You know, pretty much basic stuff. So this book, just try to remember all of the words, and some of the words, most of the words you'll probably know. The words you don't, I would suggest to highlight them so you can know to pay a little bit more attention to. The grammar section is fairly easy. It's pretty much asking you to know how to use the word there, and there in a sentence. And I remember one question, make sure you know how to spell there, T-H-E-I-R, because you think you know how to spell it until you see it T-H-I-E-R, and you're like, is it the I or is it the E? Well, maybe it was just me, but it's asking you to find the proper use of there, and there, break, B-R-E-A-K and B-R-A-K-E. It had one question where you had to put 4 words in alphabetical order. It'll have a sentence, and it'll say which word is incorrect in the sentence, and you have to choose which word is used incorrectly. I remember one question, it had which sentence uses the word snake as a verb. Simple stuff like that. So the grammar part is very easy, and in this book it shows you, you know, sample questions like that are on the test. Now, this book is not really good for the anatomy and physiology portion. It's very broad. I would still look at the stuff that's in here, but I would also use the Cram app, other notes that I had from my A&P course, because I got an A in both AP1 and AP2, yet it's so much information that on the questions you're like, I don't remember this. The Cram app helped. I'll put a link in the description box to some of the online practice tests that really helped. It kind of asks questions that you don't really think about, and you're like, oh, I need to check that. Oh, I need to, you know, take another look at that. Some of the questions on the HESI that I remember, since I did take it today, so I would suggest to get familiar with the stuff in here, take some online practice tests, get some note cards, pull out your old A&P1 and A&P2 notes, and study everything. Every day, study something. Get this book and take time out every day until it's your test day to, you know, take time out every day to just read something in this book. You know, maybe we devote one day to math section, and next day devote 1 hour to the grammar, and then reading, and then A&P devote like 2 hours, or the sciences, because I think those have less questions, because the A&P only had 30 questions. So versus the 55 in the English and the grammar and the math. But yeah, so if you have any questions, comment. If you have any other tips, comment, like this video, share it with your other aspiring nurses or HESI takers. And just, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer them. So thanks for watching, and I hope this helped somebody.